Here we are, and here we go. I can't help. I'm laughing because I know what I'm about to talk about, and it's going to be awesome. So hold on just a moment. Before we do that, Jackson, did you get the number that I just sent you? You got that telephone number? I'm sorry that I sent it late in the game there, but we got Brink Fiddler coming on, and I needed to get you that telephone number. Did you get it? I just sent it to you via the
I have it. Would you like me to call him now, or would you like to get into your thing first?
No, we need to get into this real quick. So Ken Weaver is back in the newsroom.
Yes, sir.
Ken Weaver, I have breaking news.
Yes, sir.
I broke the toilet. So, Ken, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to go into that room and see if it's still flushing. Can you hear it? Can you? All right, go check it out.
I'll be right back.
So I went to use the facilities as I am wont to do during Ken Weaver's newscast because that's what we do. Every man's got to go, and when you got to go, you got to go. And so I went to the closest facility to us. Now we've got you've got a single use ADA compliant bathroom on the second floor. Meaning that you open a door and it's just one sink, one stall. You know, the type that Debbie Wasserman Schultz doesn't care for because she says that's unsanitary. And then you've got the bigger bathroom right across the hall that is not exactly ADA compliant, but there's a couple stalls in there, a couple of sinks, whatever. So I guess when ADA compliance became a thing, we had to have an ADA compliant bathroom, and that's what we got. Well, I go there mostly because it's closer. Ken, is it still running?
No. Do you want me to go check the women's?
No. Did it stop? So I flushed the commode, and then as I was washing my hands, which is a difficult task when you only got one hand to do it, and it wouldn't stop flushing. And so I went back, and it still had not stopped flushing. But thankfully, it stopped flushing.
Yeah, it's not flushing right now.
That's great news. Well, I would warn you fellows from using the all-tile bathroom.
Oh, that one. I thought you were talking about the other one. I got to go check that one.
Go check. Well, you should probably hear it. Go buy that. It's the all-tile one with the single-use guy.
Yeah, the one where you could put a table and magazines.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All
Yeah,
right,
a little sofa. Okay, Ken Weaver goes back. Yeah, the what?
The one-holer?
Well, yeah, the single-use, I would say, the one-holer. The one that stinks all the time for some reason. No matter what amount of Febreze goes in. Is it you? It's you. Never mind. If you say it's you and they immediately don't say no, then you know. Ken Weaver is back with a report.
It's not flushing.
Okay, that's good.
Looks like we're okay, Brother Murphy.
I fiddled with it.
What if Ken was swimming back there?
Well, that's what I was worried about. Well, we would have to call because there's a note on that wall that says plumbing problems, call. I think you have to call.
Oh, yeah, you got to call Brother Mike.
I think if we ever have to call that, I think we should call them live on the air.
You wouldn't want to put Brother Mike live on the air.
Probably Mike better than Ian.
Yeah.
Probably Mike better than Ian.
I don't know, man.
I think Ian would just hang up on you. Don't you?
I think Mike would answer the call.
I think Mike might hang up on you. I think Ian would definitely hang up on you.
You better have that dump button push ready with Brother Mike on there.
Hi, Mike. We're on the line with Mike, our chief engineer at Cumulus Nashville. Mike, you're on the radio, and I think immediately we would be met with something along the what the bleep, 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 am I bleep, 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 do I bleep, 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 bleep.
I think he just told me to get that dump button ready.
Boop, boop. Yeah. Well, I'm just glad that got handled. I was a little bit worried about it. Okay. Let's do that. We will get into Epstein coming up in the second half of this hour to include Nincompoop in the news. I promise to get to that. We'll get to your telephone calls on this Monday edition. But 366 days off of what was an assassination attempt on Donald J. Trump's life, I thought it merited a kind of a visit and a conversation with my go-to man when it comes to analyzing these types of situations and being able to recognize where the security protocols were breached, what protocols were not followed, and what we can do to learn from the incident. Our man is Brink Fiddler. He is with Defend Systems. Of course, you hear me talking about Brink all the time, and occasionally we bring him on to lean on his expertise. Brink, I hope everything's well, man. You doing all right?
Good, yeah, busy, but doing really well, thanks.
Well, I like, you know me, I like you busy until such time that you shut down for a lack of these types of incidents, but sadly that's not going to happen anytime soon, as we both know.
No, and I enjoyed your little banter there about the the bathroom.
I thought I'd
too.
broken the toilet,
Well,
honestly. I mean, flush and it just wouldn't stop. It just wouldn't stop. It's one of those industrial grade jobs, and I thought instead of not, my predisposition, Brink, you know me well enough. My predisposition is just to walk away and pretend it wasn't me. I mean, that's
no doubt.
but I'm trying to overcome these failures in my character, and so I owned up to it live on the radio. And
Well,
look,
good.
and look what happened. It solved itself.
Well, I'm fairly certain Secret Service must have installed it to begin with, right? So,
Well, this is the reason I love Fiddler. He knows how to get us right back on track. So it's been a year. It seems like longer. There's been a lot going on in the last in the last calendar year, but a year and a day ago in Butler, Pennsylvania, a 20-year-old. What we believe to know to be true is that a 20-year-old asked to borrow his father's gun. Individual went to the Butler, Pennsylvania rally, was at the rally for length of time, noticed by a number of people, and then eventually was found to be on top of a roof in a sniper-type position, drawing down on the once and future president of the United States of America. I'm going to try to not lead you in any direction when I ask you. You break these types of situations down all the time, and they're always different. But there are, I believe you've taught me this enough, that you can always find some points of similarity. So break this situation down for us with your eyes, Brink.
yeah, we got to really back up right before the day of, because we know now that 10 days before that event that there were some classified briefings held with higher level Secret Service personnel about an active threat to Trump's life. So we know 10 days out that they know about an active threat against his life. And that information does not make it to his detail. It doesn't make it to local law enforcement. It doesn't go anywhere. Furthermore, if you remember, this is right around the time of the RNC and the DNC too, right? So resources were spread very thin, which led to a lot of the debacle that day as well, which we'll get into in a minute. But because resources were spread thin, I don't know what led to their decision not to get that information to the people who are responsible for protecting his life. Because at the end of the day, those are the most important people that need to know that information. So why the upper level echelon of Secret Service decided not to talk about an active threat against former and like you said, future president, I'll never know. I would hope and pray that it's just incompetence and nothing darker than that. But it seems unreasonable to me that they would not share the fact that there was an active threat against him with his detail and the people that were going to be protecting him in the next 5 to 20 days, whatever it was. Furthermore, we now know that the agent that was tasked with doing basically the vulnerability assessment and kind of planning the thing for that event, that was her first time to do it, was at Butler, which seems crazy to me as well. And again, it could be they were spread thin. I don't know. But they had asked for some additional counter drone technology, which they were denied. And apparently they were denied that because that was being utilized at the DNC and RNC. But they did, somebody in Secret Service somewhere interjected and gave them more counter sniper cover, which, as we all know, ended up ending the thing pretty quickly, thankfully. But there's just the amount of failures. The fact that he was stopped with a rangefinder at the site and let go, and then that information wasn't shared with the entire team. I just, you had Adam and I on to talk about this a year ago, and to me, nothing's changed except I'm just as dumbfounded now as I was then about, the failures. And again, I'd like to think it's not darker than that with all the failures, but I just can't imagine there's that perfect of a storm where all those things could go wrong.
Are we willing to say, and I understand where you are on it, and you and we've talked long enough that. And I try to be here too. I don't want to assume the darkest places. I don't want to, because the darkest place that we could go is that someone had knowledge and they let it go. And in order for me to believe that, I'm going to need to see evidence. I can feel any way I want to feel, but I'm going to choose not to believe that until I see evidence because I'm going to choose not to go there. Now, some people might say that's naive or whatever, but at best, these are failures that should never rise to the level of the Secret Service. Would you agree with that? I mean, even looking at this in the best case types of scenarios, that these were just genuine and honest mistakes that were made, it's hard for me to believe. It's one thing for, a local, no offense to you county sheriffs out there, but for a local county sheriff to think nothing of somebody holding a rangefinder or whatever, but you're protecting some of the most valuable assets on planet Earth. And for you not to at least sit that fellow down and question what the hell he's doing there with a rangefinder?
Yeah, and I think he was, but the fact that information wasn't pushed out to every single person at that event, and not only that, I think other measures may have been put in place to protect. I don't know if I'm on his detail and I'm in charge of protecting his life, and I get information from local law enforcement that there's a guy that stopped there with a rangefinder. I'm probably going to call it off.
Right. So if you are, and Brink has years and years of experience, and you obviously have years of experience in the police department as well as years of experience with defense systems. If you were a part of the decision-making process and somebody radioed you and said, hey, we had someone on site who had a rangefinder, and would you have allowed the president to take the stage?
Depends on how much time I had between the time he took the stage and that information was given to me. If I had enough time to deploy all the resources and triple check everything, there was a water tower nearby too that was, in my opinion, not secured well enough. There were tree lines, there were all sorts of things. So based on what I know was not secure, then I would not have let him go out there. There's no reason, right? I understand the campaign and understand all those things, but it's also not normal activity. It's not even close to normal activity to have somebody show up with a rangefinder where, the former president's getting ready to speak. And obviously,
right. So, and for those,
one of those hated men on planet.
And for those who maybe not understand, a rangefinder it's to have binoculars is one thing, so you can get a better view of the president from far away. A rangefinder tells you how far away you are, which is what you can use on the golf course, and you can also use it at a shooting range to understand what the trajectory of what particular weapon you're going to use is going to do, right?
Yeah, it was a laser rangefinder and not a golfing one, right? It was for firearms. So, a lot of times it's used in long range shooting. It's used in hunting. Yeah, bow hunters use them a lot too, just because, hunting with bow.
Because of the fall of the arrow, right? Yeah.
That's right. But it gives you, using a laser, it gives you the exact distance to your target. So there is no reason on the planet that anybody at a Trump rally should have a laser rangefinder except the counter sniper teams, right? There's no legitimate reason whatsoever. So that fact alone, but it didn't make it to his protective detail. Apparently there was a huge lack of communication between local law enforcement and Secret Service. They know now. Local law enforcement even said, had they known that there would have been an active threat against him at the time, that they would have asked for more resources and they would have reached out to surrounding counties and everything else and gotten more personnel there to protect that venue better. Was there complacency here? 100%. There's no doubt there was complacency there. Like how that dude got a ladder up against that building and climbed on a roof within a few hundred yards of that stage is still beyond me. And like you, I don't want to believe until I'm shown facts. I don't want to believe the worst. But at best, it's just a huge amount of incompetence that should not ever reach. You said it should not be seen at the Secret Service. Should not be seen at the Secret Service on a protective detail, right? If it's a new guy that's working in, I don't know, Phoenix, Arizona, working counterfeit cases, and he's been out of the Secret Service Academy for 6 months, that's one thing. But that's not what we're talking about here. So the fact that that level of a detail, but the other thing too that we know now is a lot of people on that detail weren't even Secret Service.
Right.
They were supplemented with like Homeland Security agents, stuff like that, who had very little executive protection experience at all.
Brink Fiddler, our guest. We're going to take a quick time out. I'm going to ask the very generic and open-ended question: what other aspects of the day, 366 days since, does Brink still have questions about? He mentioned the individual getting up on the roof, this sloped roof scenario. One wonders how in the world we allowed that to happen. We'll find out those questions in just a moment. Are there answers? Probably not a lot of answers even a year later. It's 23 after the hour on Super Talk. In Nincompoops in the News, where these stories seem so similar to stories we've done in the past, I'm so worried about repeating.
Oh, I'm not repeating mine today.
Oh, well, I can't wait for Nincompoops in the News
Ken,
coming up.
where's yours from?
I'm not saying.
Yeah, got to keep that quiet. Jackson will steal one from you. Got to watch that old Jackson. All right, we'll get to that in just a moment. That's after the real news. Brink Fiddler joins us from Defense Systems talking about the assassination attempt against Donald Trump 1 year and 1 day ago. What questions do you still have, Brink, if any? I mean, I know that you've dissected more of these types of situations than anybody else that I know. I mean, I could ask you about how the world he got on the roof. It's inexplicable. And I think even people that day would tell you that it's relatively inexplicable that he got that line of sight. But what specific questions do you still have, if any?
Well, some, but I would say the biggest one that to really just get bare bones about it is that if you look at the report that came out after, the task force or whatever you want to call it, there's literally a screenshot of a text message from Butler Emergency Services, like where they're texting each other. And it says, "Are you watching this guy up against our building? Long hair, gray T-shirt, white shorts. He has a rangefinder." That's at 5:15 p.m. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Stops ring out at 6:11 p.m.
My God.
Right. I mean, I can just stop there. Like, I don't.
Yeah. And
I mean, the
almost an
report's out there. It's
hour.
readily available if you look at it.
They identified some weirdo with a rangefinder almost an hour before he managed to take shots at the president.
Yep. So I don't. At 5:38 p.m., another sniper, sent a message. Kid leaning around the building. We were in AGR Blue. I did see him with a rangefinder looking towards the stage. FYI, if you want to notify Secret Service snipers to look out, I lost sight of him. That's kind of a big deal.
Right.
At 5:38 p.m. Like, maybe we should just stop everything until we figure out what's going on.
Yeah, maybe we should regain. I mean, I don't mean to laugh, and thankfully we can because Donald Trump was not killed, but maybe we should not allow people to remain on the stage if we don't have sight of the guy that we're worried about with a rangefinder.
Yes, very. Yeah. So I mean, anybody that looks at this report will ask themselves, I'm sure, all the same questions I've asked myself, and so just basic bare bones. That's where I'll leave it. I mean, it's just epic failure. Hindsight's always 20/20. Obviously, I don't think local law enforcement understood the level. I mean, they understood what their job was that day, but they had no idea there was an active threat, and they would have, I'm sure, done things differently.
Do you believe that there was a CYA? I'm not asking about a cover-up, but do you believe that there was is it let me ask it a different way before we go to news. In a situation like this, is it typical for various departments to try to kind of CYA a little bit?
Oh, 100%. I mean, and everybody was trying to do that, right? To say, well, there was a lot of finger pointing going on, and understandably. But I mean, you can answer that question with this, right? Was there a CYA going on when the director of the Secret Service talks about there was too much of a slope on the roof for their snipers?
Right. Yeah, we couldn't send our snipers up there because of the slope. It's just, geez. Well, rightly so, heads rolled, yeah. Well, look, we always appreciate your analysis and your breakdown of these things, Brink, and thank you for everything that you do, brother.
Yeah, thank you, Matt.
All right, man. There's Brink Fiddler. He is owner of Defense Systems, and if you're in need, defensesystems.com. It's past time. It's time for the news on Super Talk. I don't know what to tell you. Hello. Are you looking at my face on the Super Talk television side of things? Talk TV's up and running. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. I think I'm blushing. Am I blushing? I think I'm blushing.
Why?
Jackson said something that we will not discuss on the radio, Ken, that made me blush.
You got to look out for that, brother Jackson.
You got to look out from those boys that start across the hall.
Yeah.
That locker room talk.
Yeah.
Bring all that over here.
Oh, come on.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
It's just
Well-
me. Don't throw my friends into it.
Well, that's true. You're king of the locker room talk yourself. Okay, so speaking of locker room talk, we're going to engage in a little bit of it. I know that I've promised the last word on Epstein, at least the last word today. I can't promise that we will not discuss this, but I do have a response to our president of the United States of America encouraging us to move on from the issue. I mentioned we had a Gloria update. We had a Supreme Court ruling earlier today that was in favor of Trump 6-3, giving him the ability to fire employees of the executive branch of government. That's good news. And we still have to run down all that are in the 7th congressional race. We've invited all of these folks on the show. At least I have invited. I take that back. I have not invited everybody, but I'm trying. I invited Jody Barrett. I think Lee Reeves has already been on with us. I invited Jody over the weekend, and he can't do it this week. Said he was out of town, in various parts of the 7th District, but he will be on with us. I have invited Matt Van Epps, and we're working out the details of when that's going to happen. I have invited Afton Bain in person. I invited Afton, and she said she'd come on. She's running as a Democrat. I've not invited several of the others that are running in this race, but we'll get to all of them because I think you need, in the compressed time frame, you most certainly need to know who you're dealing with, and you need to know this information so you can figure out who you're voting for. All right, you need to know this, too. Every day around this time, we like to shut down the news and get to the nincompoops. We do it in this fashion on a daily basis, 41 minutes after the hour. It's time for Nincompoops in the News. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, yes. There's Brother Ken Weaver in News Closet B. He's present and accounted for. Jackson Williams is behind the glass, not only screening your telephone calls, generally being bawdy in his talk and surly in his manner, and he has found an
Bawdy?
Nincompoops.
What does that even mean?
BAWDY. We use that type of. Look that up in your Funkin' Wagnalls. And then there's me, your humble host. I've told you. That's a legit, that was the dictionary that was on our shelves back in the day. And then there's your humble correspondent. We look all over the globe. We find those nincompoops, we present them to you, and then you get to vote on a daily basis. I want to say Ken Weaver won on Friday.
Okay.
I think that's true.
I'll go along
You
with
never
it.
counted the results.
Wait a minute. Maybe Jackson won on Friday.
It might have been Brother Jackson.
No, Jackson, I think you won on Friday.
Hey, let's go.
Now that I recall it, I don't know that I ever officially announced results because it was neck and neck between you and Ken Weaver. So I'm going to go with Jackson.
All right.
Ken, I'm sorry if I'm snatching victories from the jaws of defeat or you know the saying.
That's all right. I'll get used to that starting in September.
Jackson, you're nincompoop, sir.
We're going to Georgia. Naked man accused of knocking man out with freezer on Lake Lanier boat slip.
Oh, wow.
A Buford man was arrested last week after deputies say he stripped naked and knocked another man out using a freezer on a Lake Lanier boat strip.
Are you saying a freezer?
Yes, a freezer.
Oh, wow.
Deputies arrested 42-year-old Logan Nicholas Young at his houseboat on July 3rd. What we know is officials with the Hall County Sheriff's Office say the incident happened at a boat slip on the 6900 block of Lanier Islands Parkway on the evening of July 2nd. That night, investigators say Young, the 59-year-old victim, and two women were on the victim's boat. At some point, Young reportedly took off all of his clothes in front of the other three people, leading to an argument in which officials say he punched the man in the chest and left the vessel.
It led to an argument.
Well, y'all, hey, I'm just imagining, goes, what y'all think about this?
Hey, y'all look here.
Look,
Why are y'all getting mad at me?
I mean, what's going on over here? Y'all see this?
Y'all want some of these goods?
The victim
Or
and the
services?
The victim and the two women thought that Young had gone on his own boat. Authorities say so they tried to leave the dock. It was then that Young allegedly threw a deep freezer at the man, hitting him in the head and knocking him unconscious and into the lake.
Wow.
The man was able to get back to shore. Officials say he had a large laceration on his head but refused treatment. When deputies went to Young's houseboat to speak with him, they say he silenced his phone and turned off his boat lights. Hours later, the deputies obtained an arrest warrant and found Young hiding under a bed on the boat.
Hey, y'all, they ain't going to catch me. I turned my phone on silent.
Turned my phone on silent, turned off the boat lights, and hid under the bed.
Also, anybody seen my drawers?
I didn't bring a change of clothes. I left them on my buddy's boat.
I'm concerned. What was in the freezer? Are there sunken meats? What are we going to do about the meats?
How big was this deep freezer?
I mean,
I don't know, but it couldn't have felt good.
Oh, boy, was taking something, if you ask me.
Man,
He's facing charges of simple battery, public indecency, and 3 counts of obstruction of an officer, all misdemeanors. How do you not get a felony?
That's pretty good.
hit him with a deep freezer.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do, Ken.
I like how everything was going fine until he decided to get naked and it sparked an argument.
I'm just imagining certain language that was used precipitating the. Oh, what? What? You don't like what you think it's cold? I'll show you cold.
They're like, what does he mean by that?
See what I mean there? I will go next.
Hit it, Brother Murphy.
A Florida man is behind bars on felony charges for a pair of Walmart sex toy heists.
Walmart?
I have a little picture.
Have we not done this one?
A little bit. I don't know. Maybe if I'm disqualified, fine. Because this app, I've got a dateline of July 14 on this.
Okay, you're
I don't think
safe.
I've heard this one.
So a Walmart sex toy heists. Now, yes, Ken, that was my initial reaction too.
I got to look this up.
I haven't been in a Walmart in 9 years, 8 years. I stopped going. So I did not know that Walmart was dabbling in the sex toy trade. Jeffrey LaForge, 40 years of age, was arrested this past Friday, on a pair of theft counts for which he is being held in lieu of $10,000 bond. There is a little pictures alert here. I'm going to try to avoid any controversial language, but on two separate occasions, police charged LaForge swiped a variety of adult toys from a Walmart in South Pasadena in Florida. Store security cameras recorded LaForge removing the items from their packaging and then departing Walmart without paying for the pleasure devices. The $280 worth of stolen goods included a $31.44 tush toy
Oh,
and a $14.98 item described as a stroker.
hey-o.
LaForge is also accused. This is my favorite line in the story. LaForge is also accused of stealing a Reese peanut butter ice cream bar costing $3.98.
Oh, God, what was he going to do with that? Snack after?
Yeah, you have a little hungry.
Maybe he was trying to quit smoking.
It is unclear whether the sex toys were intended for personal use or resale, although the lack of packaging might cause a prospective buyer concern that the items were previously used. Since the merchandise was valued at less than $1,000, the theft would normally be a misdemeanor. However, owing to LaForge's history of theft convictions, the counts were enhanced to felonies. On a related note, who knew that the largest retailer in the United States of America had gone into the sex toy business?
Somebody's got to sell them.
I mean, I had no idea either. But there you go. You learn something new every day. Ken Weaver.
Yes, sir.
You got a nincompoop.
All right. Here we go. I learned of this during the Chad Benson show today.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it involves somebody passing away, I think it is a cautionary tale for everybody out there.
Amen.
Tourist took selfie with bear before being mauled to death.
No.
A tourist in Romania was mauled to death by a bear the day after he posed for a selfie with the wild animals. 48-year-old Omar Farang Zen, who was traveling in the Carpathian Mountains, was dragged 60 yards down a steep gully, killed by a mama bear after reportedly taking photos of the animal with its 3 cubs. A day earlier, the Italian took several photos of a sleuth of bears by the side of a road, including a picture of himself with one of the animals just a few yards behind him. He's just smiling.
Mm-hmm.
Big bear behind, big old brown bear.
Oh, yeah.
He also took a video of himself driving past a bear standing by the roadside saying, "Look at the bear, how beautiful." There has been an increasing number of bear attacks in Romania in recent years as the country struggles to control its growing bear population. Romania has the largest population of brown bears in the European Union, with conservationists estimating there are between 10,000 and 13,000 roaming the country's forests and mountains.
That's a lot of bears.
Forestry officers say there are more than 110 bears living right there where this fellow was taking selfies. In a 24-hour period in May, there were 3 attacks in the mountains. A 74-year-old Spanish woman mauled by a bear as she took a photo from her car with the window down. Then a Pole and a German tourist were also attacked in separate incidents. And there are signs in the area that clearly read, "Warning, do not feed or get close to wild bears."
Yeah.
You know why?
Because they'll kill you?
Yeah, because they'll drag you 60 yards down a ravine and kill you.
Absolute nincompoop. And yes, normally the Darwin Award winners don't make appearances on nincompoops in the news, but in this, you got to make an exception because it is, as you say, Ken, a cautionary tale for those who need to hear it. Bears are not cute.
No,
I mean, you might think they're just as cuddly as can be, but you know what they are? Killers.
they're killers. They'll do it, especially a mama bear with her youngins.
And one swipe of that paw and you're out and you're done. See you later. It's mealtime.
Good eating.
Yeah, that's exactly what you are. Good eating. That's how we play Nincompoops in the news. You get to vote. 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. Back in a moment with your telephone calls. It's 9 till the top on Super Talk. Why, thank you, Ken Weaver, Super Talk 99.7 WTN, Matt Murphy, and you, along with Jackson, along with Ken. A couple of minutes left in the voting. Right now, Ken Weaver's leading by 2 votes over Jackson, who's leading by 2 votes over me. So
Really?
it's a tight contest, friends. Tight contest. Ken Weaver leads by the skinniest of margins. As a matter of fact, several people are weighing in. Said, I find it unbearable not to vote for Ken. This other. He just barely beat the rest of you. So you'll bear the brunt of not going first tomorrow. Oh, the puns. Oh, the puns. I noticed no puns on my sex toy story.
I've got a few, but they're not safe.
Yeah, you just have to be wary of them.
See,
look.
that's more that locker room talk there from Brother Jackson.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's right. That's nasty, bawdy talk. We don't need it. Have you looked it up yet?
No, but I can inference.
You can imagine. Voting closes in just a minute or two. And then we'll open up this conversation, which Donald Trump would like to close ASAP. There was a lot of speculation as to whether or not Dan Bongino, the assistant director of the FBI, was preparing to quit. Donald Trump says, nah.
Oh, I think so. I did. I spoke to him today. Dan Bongino, very good guy. I've known him a long time. I've done his show many, many times. And he sounded terrific, actually. No, I think he's in good shape.
He thinks he's in good shape.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Dan Bongino is in good shape.
What's that mean?
I don't. Good shape meaning, he's not going to quit. Good shape meaning he's A-okay. Good shape meaning what? Meantime, Donald Trump said, what's going on with my boys, in some case gals? They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's doing a fantastic job. We're on one team, MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. We have a perfect, capitalized, perfect administration. The talk of the world. And selfish people are trying to hurt it all over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration who conned the world with Russia hoax, 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, and more? Oh, he has more to say about this. And I have a response to a president that I love and support. We'll share that response with you after the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.